So there are 10 rules that guarantee success in building a seven-figure equipment financing business. And I want to run through this with you right now because since 2003, I have built a seven-figure business in equipment financing within a particular niche of equipment financing. And I funded tens of millions of dollars in loans. And I found that there's really only 10 principles that are tried and true and are actually applicable to success in this niche. So the first one is you have to have a clear and strong purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. Because when you're in the trenches and you're going through this and you're trying to figure out um, why am I making all these cold calls? Why am I getting all this rejection? What is my purpose? And for me, my purpose was, I wanted to prove to myself that I had what it took to succeed. I always felt, as a kid that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't enough. And so I figured, what's the biggest challenge that I can find as a young adult? And that was making cold calls to strangers, hoping they would trust me with their business. So that was my sense of purpose. The outcome was secondary of if I made money, if I got deals done. I didn't care. I just wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't scared to reach out to strangers and put myself out there and see what they said and see if I was good enough to get things done and make it happen. So you have to have a clear sense of purpose, or some people call it a why. That is by far number one. Number two is you got to find role models. And even if they're not in the same industry as you, I mean, my biggest role models were not even in business. My biggest role model growing up was Michael Jordan. And I took him as a role model and I applied it to being a business loan broker, where my thought is, what would Michael Jordan do in this situation? And the way I felt about Michael Jordan was he personified excellence in everything he did. And so when I would, start my day, I would think about how could I bring excellence to the day? How could I handle any challenges with excellence, as if I was Michael Jordan within the niche of business. And it just helped me so much to think about things outside of myself and my own ego, and think about how would excellence, how would relentless pursuit of excellence handle this? So find role models, even if it's outside the business. Number three, you got to have a clear vision of your ideal future. And this is huge. I have actually a whole training on this. If you're interested, let me know. But I would visualize what my future would look like, exactly down to the T, as far as where I lived, who I hung out with, what I ate, what I drove, how much money was in my bank account. And I would visualize the numbers on the screen of the type of money that's in my bank account. I would think about the type of food I would eat and actually tasting it. I would go through these detailed visions of my work environment, my home environment, my friends, my family, everything, the way I wanted it ideally to play out. And the truth is, it's played out exactly the way I envisioned it, and then some. So it's really important that you have an ideal future in mind. And again, if you want help with this, let me know. I'll send you my training on that, because it's awesome. So number four is you gotta expect success. It has to be an expectation. I've never even accepted failure as even a possibility. When you expect success, you get success. It's just the way it works. And so that's one thing that you have to have in order to create a massively successful equipment financing business. You have to expect to win, and you will not settle for anything less. Number five is you have to have self-belief and trust in yourself. You have to believe that you're going to make this happen. You have to believe no matter what happens, you trust that you will find a way. And I can remember so many times where I would go into a kind of a dark place where maybe I hadn't had a deal fund in 2 or 3 months, but I knew that it would turn around because I just had self-belief. I just knew it. And the world works in mysterious ways when you have trust and belief in yourself and what you expect to happen. So number six is you got to plan and organize and prioritize. It's very key. I mean, every day I had a plan. I just knew from 7:30 to 10, I would make calls. And then again, from 3 to 4, I would make calls. That was my plan. And I executed on that for 2 years straight. That's all I did. And, but if you don't do that, you're going to find excuses how to fill up your day with minutia and BS. When really the truth is, you got to talk to people, and so you got to have a plan and you got to execute on the plan. And another part of my plan was I'm not going to go the long route, and it changed my plan. I decided that I'm not going to go after the actual customers. I'm going to go after the people that sell to the customers because it's more efficient, it's more leverage. So you have to strategize and find the plan that works for you. Number 7 is you got to be a seeker of knowledge and you got to do your due diligence. You got to find people that can teach you stuff, whether it's about sales and how to use sales to your advantage, what to say and when to say it, when not to say things. The most important skill in sales is when to shut your mouth. Unfortunately, most salespeople love talking, and really, sales are won when you just be quiet and listen and answer appropriately. There's no need to fill your nervous energy with more words. Just let it be. And the truth is, most people can pick up on that nervous energy and they're just not going to trust you. Number 8 is you got to be patient. I mean, nothing worthwhile happens quickly, it takes time. So if you're patient, you got to understand it comes in due time. Flowers don't come up in day one, vegetables don't grow in 1 week. Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time. So if you're not willing to commit at least a year to build a business that can thrive for your entire life, I've been doing this since 2003. And so I realized if I'm not willing to put in a year with my head down, bust my ass, and see what happens, then I'm never going to build anything worthwhile. And the truth is, it's just like a well. You pump and pump and pump, but sooner or later, that water just keeps coming. You barely even keep your hand on the pump. So you got to be patient. Number 9 is you got to be persistent. I mean, you just have to stay after it. It goes back to the Michael Jordan thing. It goes back to the patience thing. You got to have a system and you got to execute on the system. Where, like we talked about, number 6, plan, organize, and prioritize your day. But you got to put in the reps. You got to have a process, and don't worry about, do I have a result at the end of the first day or the first month or the first year? You got to put in the reps. And lastly, you got to have joy in the process of achieving, because what's the purpose of getting to the top of the mountain if you're not enjoying it along the way? It's going to be anticlimactic. So enjoy the nose, laugh at the nose. I remember one time this lady told me I was making cold calls. This is back when I was making 300 cold calls a day. And she basically told me that she hoped I'd die. She was so angry that I had cold called her asking if she needed financing for any equipment for her business. And I thought to myself, man, thank goodness I'm happy and enjoying my life and I'm not miserable like her. So I just responded. I said, ma'am, I think you need a hug. And she didn't like that, obviously, but I thought it was funny because I'm enjoying my day. You're not going to piss me off. You're not going to make me upset because you're a loser. It just doesn't work that way when you have joy in your life. It's bigger than business. We all die. So enjoy the journey because it ends. So keep these in mind. These are the 10 rules for guaranteed success in your loan brokerage business. And if you need anything, please reach out to me, schedule a call, and I'd love to figure out how we could work together. Take care.